So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna focus on 30 minutes of mobility, active recovery, as well as some stretching. We're gonna work in a little bit of core, a little bit of glute strength as well. But again, it's going to just be 30 minutes, kind of just chill. I just want you to connect with your body. Just go through the motions. I'm gonna guide you through everything. We're gonna kind of just go through different parts of our body. So we're kind of gonna start from our head, neck, shoulders, bring it on down towards our trunk, hips, kind of just work our way through our whole body, okay, over the next 30 minutes. You could do this standing for the first couple minutes. You could do it kneeling, you could do it seated, kind of just make this make sense for you, make it work for you in a way. But again, it's just gonna be super, super chill next 30 minutes, okay? So what I want you to do right now is I just want you to get started with some shoulder circles. So I just want you to reverse direction here. Get some movement to those shoulders, start to get the blood flowing. Hope you're all having a good start to your day. We're just gonna go reverse direction here, okay? Think about opening everything on up, especially towards the end of the week, right? We start to come this way a little bit. I really want you to think about opening everything up today, okay? Good, let's bring it forward. Bring it forward. A little bit more awkward going forward, but let's still get that motion, right? And then really breathe through it. Awesome, so now I just want you to go into neck circles. So what that's going to look like, 360 degrees, or it would be more of a head circle here. And you're gonna get some movement through your neck. 360 degree rotation, slow and controlled, and all one direction right here, okay? Make sure your shoulders don't creep up as you do this. And as I mentioned, we're kind of just gonna work through a series of mobility, stretching. Awesome, let's reverse direction, reverse direction. Slow and controlled here. Awesome, so I'm just gonna have you come into this next stretch. So what I want you to do is I want you to grab over the top of your head. And as you do, I want you to think about bringing this ear towards the shoulder, right? Getting this good stretch on the side of your neck here. When you do this, make sure that we're not lifting with that shoulder, right? So we're not here, brace your core, everything's locked in. You feel a good stretch right down the side of your neck. And I want you to breathe through it, okay? Breathe, breathe, breathe. Staying on that same side, I want you to grab on a little bit of an angle, so a little bit more behind your head, right? And I want you to look as if you have a chest pocket right here, okay? So it's gonna be a little bit of different spot on that neck. Similar side though, breathe through it. And again, we tend to carry a lot of tightness in our shoulders, in our traps, in our neck. So the key is just kind of be loosening everything up, okay? Awesome, let's release out of that one. Now we're gonna go opposite side. Grab over the top, pull, so your ear is towards that shoulder, opposite shoulder, make sure it doesn't lift, right? You're bracing that core, breathe through it. Awesome, let's grab on a little bit of an angle. So I want you to look down as if you have a chest pocket here, breathe through it. Awesome, so I'm just gonna have you come into arm circles. With these arm circles, I want you to kind of just open on up as you go reverse direction here, okay? Kind of get into like your chest, your shoulders, and just kind of lightly rotate, move with it a little bit, right? Getting a little bit of a flow here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Now let's bring it forward, same idea, and just kind of fall into it. I am not a great swimmer, but I would imagine large, like swimming motion here, okay? Awesome, so let's just shake it on out. I'm just gonna have you bring one arm across, okay? And I want you to grab with that opposite arm and get this good stretch to the backside of that shoulder into that tricep. Make sure as you hug, you're not hugging up, all right? I want you to think about hugging towards your chest. Give you another angle here. Arm is coming right across. Should be feeling that stretch on the backside of that shoulder into that tricep. And again, breathe through it here, okay? Make sure that shoulder's not creeping up towards that ear. Think about depressing that shoulder down. Just breathe, just kind of fall into the stretch. And we'll work in some shoulder mobility as well as upper back mobility today as well, okay? Just breathe. Awesome. So keeping that same arm, I now just want you to reach on down the middle of your back here and grab over the top of that elbow and kind of crawl your fingertips down as far as you can. You want to be thinking about getting this stretch in the back side of this tricep into that shoulder a little bit more, and breathe, 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 okay? Awesome. Let's slowly release. Now we'll bring it to the opposite side. So bring that arm across. Make sure, again, shoulder doesn't creep towards that ear. Shoulders down. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Same idea. Now let's just bring this arm overhead here, excuse me. Reach on down your spine. Grab over the top of that elbow. Stretch down the back side of that tricep into that shoulder. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Awesome. So let's shake it on out. I'm going to have you go feet nice and wide here. So as wide as you can, where you still feel like you have a good firm base of support. And then I want you to reach on down to the floor. As you reach, I want you to be feeling a stretch in the back side of your legs here, hamstrings, glutes. If you start to reach on down and you realize that you can't really get close to the floor, which is totally cool, I just want you to cross your arms across your chest here, fall into the stretch. Big thing is when we stretch, make sure that you're just not rounding through your back to get down there. This isn't going to do much, right? I want you to really think about this back flat position, this good hinge. It's going to allow you to really get into that stretch as well, okay? Here we go. Breathe, breathe, breathe. You're reaching straight down. Again, you could just cross your arms across your chest. I have some pretty tight hamstrings, so I definitely feel that stretch as I just hold my arms across my chest here, okay? Breathe through it. And now I want you just to reset, bring it to standing. Feet are going to stay out nice and wide. Now I just want you to reach to one side, okay? Same idea. Reach on down with the intention to stretch, okay? Don't just roll through your back. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Awesome. Let's bring it to the opposite side. Breathe through it here. Back side of your legs into the hamstrings. Awesome. So I want you to keep your feet wide. I just want you to shift your weight to one side. Just kind of hold there, right? Opposite leg's gonna be nice and straight. Kind of get into this hip. We're gonna make this a little bit more dynamic in a sec. You should be feeling a good stretch in that inner thigh, into that hip. Good, now let's just bring it to the opposite side. Opposite side. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Awesome, so now what I'm gonna have you do, you're gonna keep that feet nice and wide here, last one from this position. I'm gonna have you go from side to side, real dynamic, okay? So I just want you to shift into your hips, hold for about a 1 count, shift and bring it to the opposite side. I like to call this one like the Ocean's 8, right? So if you've ever seen that movie, you want to think about kind of going through like lasers as you're kind of sneaking around, right? So stay low, okay? Stay committed to staying low here. A little bit more dynamic as you shift your weight from one side. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Awesome, so let's stand up nice and tall. Let's stand up nice and tall. Good work with those. So I'm gonna have your feet go out a little bit wider here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna sink into a low squat, okay? So I want you to lightly, slow and controlled sink into this low squat. When you're here, I want your elbows the inside of your knees and I want your feet flat on the floor, chest is up nice and tall. I want you to lightly grab your toes, okay? Even this position right here might be a little challenging, so do what you can. From here, I want you to lift your butt up towards the ceiling. You're then gonna get that good hamstring stretch. Sink back into that squat. And then I want you to go shoulder mobility 1, shoulder mobility 2, stand and then repeat, okay? Give you another angle here. So sinking into this squat, make sure back is nice and flat, chest is tall here. Lift, hamstring stretch, sink back on in. Try to keep your back nice and flat as you go shoulder 1, shoulder 2, and stand, okay? Keep on staying with these here. Lots of different parts of this one. Really sink into those hips. Lift, get that hamstring stretch. Shoulder 1, shoulder 2, stand. Awesome, perfect, good work everyone. Let's bring it on down to kneeling position, okay? We're gonna work into our hips and then we're gonna go into some shoulder and upper back mobility. So what I want you to do here is I want you to kneel. I want you to open up as far as you can, as far as your hips will allow you to open up here. Once you're as far as you can go, hands are gonna come down to the floor. Back is going to be nice and flat. Good neutral alignment here. You're gonna kick one leg on onto the side. Make sure this leg is nice and flat on the floor and then we rock front to back. Okay, right here. So all one side. I'm gonna give you another angle up for this setup, right? So I'm gonna kneel, open up as wide as I can, hands come down. Make sure when you're here, we're not rounded through your spine. Back is nice and flat, real intentional, and we rock front to back, okay? Stay committed to this front to back rock here. You should be feeling a good stretch in that inner thigh and into those hips. So keeping that same positioning, I now just want you to rotate the foot of the straight leg towards the ceiling. So it's a little bit of a rotation, it's about that quarter turn, and then close it. When you close it, make sure that foot goes right back onto the floor there, okay, flat. So just point your toes to the ceiling and then close it. I want you to think about opening up through this hip, this inner thigh. Back is nice and flat, perfect. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Awesome, let's bring it back to that neutral reset position here and then we're gonna go opposite side. So as wide as your hips will open, hands come down, back is flat, foot's out to the side, front to back on this rock. There we go. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Again, you should be feeling a good stretch of that inner thigh of that straight leg into that hip. We'll keep this front to back for a bit here and then I'm gonna have you add that opener. Awesome, so now I just want you to open on up towards the ceiling here. Add that rotation through that foot. Close it. Perfect. A little bit more intense stretch in that inner thigh with these. Awesome, perfect. So while we're here, right on, kind of almost on in your knees, I'm gonna have you go into all fours now, okay? So we're gonna work from this position for a little bit. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come into cat-cow. So hands are directly underneath your shoulders, knees are directly underneath your hips. I want your toes tucked here, and I want you to think about getting some movement through your spine, what that's going to look like. I want you to lift. As you come into this lift, I want you to think about tucking your chin towards your neck. And then I want you to drop and then look up towards the ceiling. And I want you to think about this tilt and tuck of your pelvis as you do so, right? Really get into those shoulders, those lats. I want you to think about getting some movement through your spine. Breathe, breathe, breathe through it. Let's get one more here. Awesome, so staying on all fours, I'm gonna have you come into thread the needle. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna reach my right hand across and under, palm is facing up towards the ceiling. As I do, I'm dropping my butt back towards my heels and really dropping into that shoulder and that lat on my right side. I'm gonna reach, hold for about a 1 count, reset to center, and then I want you to add this opener at the top and then thread it right back through. Stay committed to this one side here, okay? So again, I want you to push your butt back towards your heels, stretch, 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 reach, reach, reach. Open at the top. Here we go. Think about getting some movement through your spine as you add that opener there. Awesome, so now we'll bring it to the opposite side, same deal. Reach across and under, palm facing the ceiling, butt towards your heels, reach. Open on up. Stay committed to this one side here. Again, you should be getting a good stretch in the back side of the shoulder into that lat, and then really think about opening up through your T-spine, which is going to be your mid-back. Let's hit one more here. Awesome. So staying on all fours, we're gonna work in some core stability. I'm gonna have you come into bird dog. With bird dog, it's opposite arm, opposite leg. So back is nice and flat, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. I want you to just extend opposites, reset to neutral, and then we go opposite side, okay? Make sure as you do these, you're not rocking side to side, right? Think about lots of control, right? Bracing your core, being real intentional here, okay? Back should be nice and flat. You should be able to put a pillow right on your back and have it not fall off with these, okay? Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good extension here. Awesome, perfect. Take a second. Let's bring it to seated position. I'm just gonna have you come into butterfly. So soles of your feet are going to be together. Sit up nice and tall here. And I just want you to grab your toe box. I just want you to open up as much as you can through your hips. Just hold for a sec. And we'll add some tension on this stretch in a little bit. Good work, everyone. It's all about just connecting and flowing with your body today. Dedicating 30 minutes to that is super key, so good job. So I'm gonna have you put your hands in the inside of your knees here. I'm gonna have you inhale through your nose. On your exhale, I want you to add a little pressure, okay? So inhale, exhale and push. Open up a little bit more and release. Awesome. We're gonna do that 2 more times. In through your nose. Exhale and push. Awesome. We're gonna do 1 more. In through your nose. Exhale and push. Awesome, good work. So what I want you to do is I want you to open up your legs real wide here, okay, as wide as you can. Start to feel that stretch in the inside of your inner thighs into those hips. And I just want you to crawl your hands directly down the middle here. Make sure back is nice and flat. Same principles apply. You're not just rolling through your back, right? Be real intentional. Awesome. Now I'm going to have you bring one foot to the inside of straight leg, inner thigh. Doesn't matter which side you start with. So I'm chucking my right foot to the inside of my left leg. Left leg is nice and straight. And I want you to reach on down towards your left toe, or whatever straight leg toe I should say. And you're going to get a good hamstring stretch here, okay? Make sure you breathe through it. Awesome, let's bring this leg over. Now I'm gonna have you hug this knee to your chest. Chest is up nice and tall, so you should be getting a good stretch to the back side of this glute, into this hamstring. Make sure you keep your chest nice and tall here. Now let's add a rotation. So I'm gonna have you put your hand kind of outside that hip there. Bring that arm that was just hugging that knee on up to your chest, back side of that elbow to the back side of that knee, right? And then I want you to square your chest as much as you can, breathe through it. Awesome. Let's reset. And now you're gonna go opposite side. So now you're gonna bring that foot to the inside of the inner thigh, that opposite side. Leg is gonna be out nice and straight. Reach on down as much as you can. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Now let's bring this leg over. Hug this knee on up to your chest. Breathe through it. Let's add that rotation. So hands coming to the back side of that hip, arms coming across, chest is tall here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Feeling a good stretch in the back side of that glute, that hamstring, mid back here, chest is tall, okay? Awesome. So let's take a second here. I'm going to have you go right on your back. Okay. We're going to work in some shoulder and upper back mobility here. So we're going to go into floor slides. With floor slides, it's going to be 2 90-degree angles with your arms, and we're working on shoulder and upper back mobility. So I'm going to have you lay right on your back. Knees are going to be bent. Lower back is pressed against the floor. 2 90-degree angles with your arms. Fingertips and elbows on the floor here. Okay. Make sure your lower back is driving to the floor here. Cannot stress that enough. Trunk is nice and locked in. And I want you to extend directly on up overhead. Exhale as you do. As you come into the extension overhead, I want you to try to keep your fingertips as well as your elbows on the floor, okay? If you feel like your fingertips are off the floor and you're here, I want you to try to think about opening up as much as you can. Try to get them close to the floor. And as I mentioned before, we have a tendency to kind of roll forward when we're at the desk or at the computer. So I really want you to focus on opening on up, okay? Really opening on up through your chest here. Big exhale. Awesome. Staying right in your back. We're going to work in some core work here. Legs are going to be at 90. Arms are going to be straight up. Lower back driving to the floor. I want you to extend opposite arm, opposite leg. So as I extend my right arm overhead, left leg is going to kick out right back to that neutral starting position. Let's go opposite side here. Make sure as you do these, the opposite arm doesn't move. So as I move my right arm, make sure that left arm doesn't fall forward. Sometimes we have a tendency to do that. Think about being real intentional, only one side moving at a time. Bracing your core. And really focus on this exhale as you come into that extension. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Awesome. So I'm going to have you just lay face down on the floor. We're going to work in some stretches from your back in a second, but I want you to kind of work on some more shoulder, upper back mobility. So you're going to lay face down on the floor. We're going to come into a prone Y raise. So what that's going to look like. Angle of your arms are going to be in the shape of a Y, right? So about 45 degrees, not straight out, not all the way out to the side. And I want you to think about getting some movement through your upper back as well as your shoulders. So your forehead can go down towards the floor here. What I want you to do is I want you to lift with your thumbs facing the ceiling. I just want you to lift your arms off the floor about 3 to 4 inches as far as you can while squeezing your shoulder blades together there at the top. Make sure as you do these, you're not arching through your back. So that's not the key here. The key is to get movement through your upper back into those shoulders. And to me, it doesn't matter if your toes are flexed or tucked. It doesn't matter to me on those. Just make sure that you're not lifting through your low back as you come into these. And again, I just want your thumbs facing the ceiling. Think about that 45-degree angle with your arms, upper back, shoulder mobility here. Just lift, return to starting, and hit it again, okay? Breathe, breathe, breathe. Awesome. So let's just go right back onto your back here. From here, we're going to go back into a series of stretches. Good work with that mobility-based work. So I'm going to bring my right leg straight up. I'm going to grab behind that right knee. Get a good stretch of this hamstring here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Now let's hug that right knee on up to your chest. Get a little bit more of a stretch of the hamstring. Get into that glute a bit here. Breathe through it. Now let's bring that leg over. So I'm bringing my right leg over. We're going to make our way into our pretzel stretch, okay? So bring this leg across. When you do, I want you to grab with that left hand over the top side of that right knee, okay? And then bring your left heel towards your butt. Grab that left toe box with your right hand. Try to bring that right shoulder on down to the floor. It would be that left shoulder if you're on the opposite side. So you're going to be getting a hamstring glute stretch on that one side that comes over. Quad stretch of that heel that comes towards your butt. Back and shoulder stretch as you look down towards the floor, okay? Breathe, breathe, breathe through it. Just hold right here. Awesome. Let's slowly release from that. Going right back onto your back. Now we're going to go opposite side. So legs going to be straight up. Grab behind that knee, hamstring, glute. Good stretch. Now let's hug your knee to your chest. Breathe through it. Let's bring this leg across. Let's come into this pretzel stretch on this opposite side. So my left leg's coming over, grabbing with that right hand. Bring that heel to your butt, right? Try to get that quad stretch. Drop your shoulder to the floor. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Just hold here. Just kind of fall into this stretch. Awesome. So now what I want you to do is I just want you to slowly make your way to low squat position. So take your time getting there, okay? Elbows are in the inside of your knees, right? Slow, slow, slow getting there. And I just want you to hold here. You can kind of just rock side to side, breathe through it. Good job, everyone. A couple more stretches here as we close it on out. Just rock side to side. Awesome. Let's bring it all the way up to standing. Let's go feet wide, okay? We're just gonna make this one a little bit more dynamic. So I'm gonna have you reach on down to one side, go 1, 2, stand up tall, bring it to the opposite side, reach 1, 2, keep on just going from one to the other here, okay? Here we go. Awesome. Now I'm going to have you stand up nice and tall. We're going to come right into leg cradles. With leg cradles, I want you to think about opening up through your hips. So I want you to grab over your ankle, have the opposite hand press the inside of the knee, open up to that hip, hold for about a 1 to 2 count, and then switch, okay? Maybe a little tricky balance-wise, as I'm speaking from personal experience right here, as I almost lightly lost my balance. Have a wall near you if you're up for it, right? Keep on alternating here. There we go. Just breathe through it. Awesome. Now let's go right into knee hugs. So I'm just going to have you alternate hugging that knee to your chest. Get that big squeeze there, okay? Getting hamstring, glute, get the blood flowing a little bit as we close this on out, right? Awesome. So now I'm just going to have you go feet together, and I want you to bring one foot over the other, right? So crisscross here, reach on down. Make sure as you reach, you're reaching with the intention to stretch, not just rolling through your spine. Back is nice and flat. Be real intentional. Breathe, breathe, breathe. You're going to feel 90% of this stretch in that back leg, okay? Awesome. Let's slowly roll on up. Now let's bring it to the opposite side. Reach on down. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Awesome. Let's roll all the way up. Let's go feet parallel here, feet together. Just want you to reach on down. Grab your opposite elbow. Just kind of hang there for a sec. Take a couple big deep breaths. Think about everything you just accomplished. Be proud of everything you just accomplished. Mobility-based work, active recovery is so, so important. So I'm pumped that you prioritize this. Set some time aside for you. That's awesome. Take another big deep breath. Slowly start to roll up your spine. Bring your arms to your chest. Awesome work, everyone. Virtual high five. Hope you're feeling good, feeling a little bit more connected. Always a pleasure. Looking forward to seeing you at the next workout, and thank you.